welcome back, and if you're new here, come on in. I'm really glad that you found this channel. My name is Claire Gorman. I'm an advanced Akashic Records practitioner, a channel, an alchemist, and founder of the Temple of Ascension and the School of Mastery. I work at the intersection of Akashic Records, psychic surgery, quantum field work, and advanced energy alchemy. And my maiden name, I'll tell you a secret, my maiden name is literally Channel. Yes, my birth name is Claire Channel, which honestly says everything. So what we talk about on this channel is not surface level content. This is for the advanced spiritual seeker, the healer, the soul who has done a lot of inner work, tried all the things and still knows there's deeper layers beneath what you have reached. If that's you, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. So before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, do that now and hit the bell so you never miss any content, especially in this series or anything else that I drop into this channel. Now, before I get into today's topic, I want to tell you why I'm doing this series, because the reason matters. I've been teaching and practicing psychic surgery for a number of years now, and what I've found again and again is that people come to this work without really understanding what it is, what it actually reaches, and why it's different from anything else they've tried. Now, you might have heard the term, you might be curious, but information that is out there can either be too vague, not helpful, or too fear-based, and that is not going to serve you at all. So I've decided to break it down properly, layer by layer, topic by topic, going deep into each element of what psychic surgery actually works with. So by the time you've listened to these series, you genuinely understand what could be presenting in your field, why it's there, and what becomes possible when it is cleared. So this is episode 2 of Psychic Surgery Deep Dives. If you haven't watched episode 1 yet, that's the overview episode where I cover what psychic surgery actually is, how it works, and why it's the natural next step for a lot of energy healers and Reiki practitioners. So I invite you to go back and watch that one. The link will be in the description, and it will also give you a good foundation for everything we're covering in this series. So in this series, this episode, we're going to go through each layer of what psychic surgery works with. One episode, one topic, going all the way in. I'm not holding back. No surface level content, no vague spiritual generalizations, just real, true information from a teacher, from a practitioner, about what is actually going on in the energetic field and what we can do about it. So today we're going to go into a juicy topic around etheric implants. And of everything I find in people's energy fields during psychic surgery sessions, etheric implants are the thing most people have never heard of, and the things that once understood explain so much about what has shifted despite years of deep healing work. Not because the healing wasn't any good, because it wasn't necessarily reaching the right layer. So let me explain what we're actually dealing with. So what an etheric implant actually is. It is a non-physical device of foreign frequency that has been introduced into the energetic body. Not the physical body, the etheric body. The energetic blueprint that your physical body is built upon and sustained. Now, I say the word device, and that is intentional, because when the mind perceives these during a psychic surgery session, whether that's through using your clairvoyance, your clairsentience, or this direct knowing, it often translates back to you as seeing an object or perhaps seeing things with a structure or a shape, and sometimes with what looks like a wiring circuitry or mechanical components. And I see it as like phone chips. That's how it always shows to me, like a microchip. And that is just your guides and your mind being able to communicate to see what's there, like your psychic library, and your mind does what it needs to do. It's translating non-physical reality into something it can process and communicate. What is true is that it's actually a foreign program running in your field, a frequency that doesn't belong to you, operating beneath your conscious awareness, producing effects you have been experiencing as simply how things are for you. And that's not the truth. So it's operating in the fourth dimensional field, the etheric and astral layers, which is precisely why standard modalities never reach them. You can't clear a fourth dimensional frequency from a third dimensional level of work. And this is why I love, and one of the core reasons I have now created Psychic Surgery Deep Dives, to have these conversations with you, because so many healers are working in the third, fourth dimensional level and wondering why certain things in their clients and in themselves are not moving. And it's because we need to get into more psychic healing. This is why, because the work needs to go to the level where the interference actually lives. So where do these implants come from? And I want to be really specific here, because there's a hell of a lot of fear-based content around this topic, and fear is not what serves you, okay? Trauma and shock are the most common entry points. When the energy field experiences a significant rupture, either an accident, it could be like proper surgery, abuse, profound loss, intense fear, it creates a shattering, a break, an opening. A vulnerability in the field that can be then occupied. Now, this isn't like punishment, it is just energetic physics, and it's a gap in the energy field, and that gap in the energy field then becomes filled. Soul contracts and agreements are other entry points or pathways. Agreements made across multiple lifetimes or any lifetime that is included as part of their energetic terms and conditions, like creating an energetic connection to a particular frequency. You might have consented to something at a soul level and that's when I start talking and teaching about soul contracts that are in between lives. But that's all in the training. I'm not going to go there today. But it's often in a context where you didn't fully understand the necessary implications, and then the implant is the mechanism of that agreement still being active. And with the soul contract, it's actually going to have its own episode in this series, because there is so much to cover there, and it really deserves the full deep dive. So if soul contracts is what is landing for you right now, watch that episode when it comes out. The other one is lineage and ancestral inheritance. So some implants carry through the bloodline. What looks like a ancestral pattern could be things like chronic illness. It's happened to grandmother, mother, daughter, great-granddaughter, etc. You can follow it through the line. So that could be chronic illness, persistent financial blocks, the same dynamic repeating generation after generation after generation, and that can have an etheric component that is inherited rather than created fresh in each lifetime. And I'll give you an example. So at 42, I had a hysterectomy. My mum at 45 had a hysterectomy. Both my grandmothers had hysterectomies. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of like what was going on underneath that, but that gives you Like, I find that absolutely fascinating. We were all roughly in our 40s and having hysterectomies. Okay, that's got some sort of implant within it, energetic implant. The other way that they can show up is through interdimensional travel and psychic work without proper spiritual hygiene and protection. People who are naturally very psychic, who astral travel, who do remote viewing, who do significant energy work without strong energetic hygiene can accumulate implants through exposure across dimensions without realizing it. And sometimes the energy point is simply accumulated heavy energy weight, and that could also create a pattern running for so long that it starts to crystallize into something denser, and the field takes on a distorted shape of that frequency that it has been carrying. See, I told you we were going to go deep. I'm not holding back. Okay, let's get into the juiciness. Where are they hiding? Etheric implants are almost always found in proximity to major energy centers, in your chakras. The throat is one of the most common locations I find them. The other one is the ultra major chakra in the back of the neck. If you do not know what an ultra major chakra is, go and do a deep dive on that. It is the 3D stroke 5D matrix. And I might do a training around that for you. Let me know in the comments if you want more information around the ultra major, and I'll create one. But if you find one in the throat, a throat implant, it will suppress the voice, visibility and truth telling. Physically, it might be showing up as a medical intuitive. It could be showing up with thyroid issues, and they can be hidden in the thyroid glands, the glands around the neck. So if someone is carrying like a vow of silence in their field, then we're covering that in soul vows in a separate episode in this series. But an implant in the throat compounds that suppression significantly. Another one can be in the solar plexus. That is also quite a common location, which is the seat of personal power, will and sovereignty. An implant here can create chronic self-doubt, inability to take action, persistent sense of powerlessness, and no amount of mindset work resolves this. You can also see it in the back with certain disc points. You can also see it with a lot of people really struggling constantly with leaky gut. But that's getting more into like the medical intuitive side of things. But I'm just like dropping these pennies of wisdom in so that you can start linking and thinking about, okay, let's work backwards for yourself and for your client. They can be hidden in the heart center, the third eye, the crown, the sacral, and particularly in women dealing with creative blocks, fertility issues, or deep wounds around the feminine. And like I said about me and my family line with our hysterectomies. And like I've mentioned, they can be found in specific organs when the field distortion has been running long enough to create physical manifestations. And an implant doesn't create illness directly, but it creates a consistent distortion in the energetic blueprint of the organ, and the physical body over time follows that distorted blueprint. I've also seen them sitting completely outside the energy body, operating in the field like a film or a filter, distorting how the person perceives reality and how they are perceived by others. So the primary function of an etheric implant is energetic interference. So let me get juicy and specific. They block gifts and abilities. And some of the most spiritually gifted people I have worked with have had implants specifically located to suppress what they are here to do. In other ways, it can block their intuition, but the distortion is not to trust their intuition. For example, like their healing abilities are real, but they can't access them consistently. Their voice carries power, but something keeps them stopping from actually using it and commanding it and saying those invocations and decrees fully. And when that implant is removed, the gift doesn't develop, it becomes available. It was always there, but we've just taken out the distortion, and then we can run the new programs. But the prior distorted implant was creating fear programs, unworthiness programs, scarcity programs. These aren't your natural thoughts or your beliefs in the way that you have ever been told. They become like a foreign negative code running in your field, producing thoughts and feelings as outputs, and the person experiences them as their own inner life, and they're not. They siphon life force energy. An active implant is an energetic drain. People carrying significant implants or loaded implants are chronically fatigued in a way that sleep never fixes, nutrition never fixes, rest doesn't fix. The energy is going somewhere, it's being siphoned off, and the implant is pulling it, is feeding off of it, and it then manifests and creates physical symptoms, particularly if it's located near a particular organ or gland, i.e. the thyroid, the reproductive system, the immune system. And it's creating a real physical downstream effect of the etheric interference in their corresponding energy centers, and then they keep you looping. This is the one most people recognize immediately when I describe it. The same pattern, the same dynamic, different people, different situations, same outcome. It can be an implant running a particular program that will keep producing the same results regardless of how much conscious work you do to change things, because you're not working at the level where the program lives. So you're probably shouting back at me now, how do I know when I'm looking at an implant? And this is something practitioners ask me a lot, especially who are thinking about doing psychic surgery training with me and wanting to understand what discernment looks like at this level of work. And the honest answer is it takes time and repetition to develop, but there are signatures, and etheric implants have a unusual different quality to absorbed energy or karmic contracts. Absorbed energy feels diffuse, like something that seeped in and spread. A karmic contract has an almost legal quality to it. There's structure, terms, a binding agreement. An implant feels more like an object, denser, more defined, often with what feels like edges or a specific shape, and sometimes there's armoring around it. Sometimes there's what I can only describe as an energetic booby trap. The implant is set up so that attempting to remove it can trigger a defensive response in the field. And what I can see sometimes is with my guides is they go in and they literally pull this thing out. I sometimes don't even know, and they're pulling this object out, and I can see it, and then I hear it going like clunk into the metal like Petri dish, and then I'm like, oh, is that what was there? And they were like, yep, this was it. And this is why it's really important that you're working with a really great psychic surgery team, because they know what's there, right? And we're not going in and we're not getting involved in the booby trap. Okay, we're handing it over to the energetic professionals. When you've done a number of these like sessions and you've seen your team working with it, you can feel the frequency of what an etheric implant is, and you just know it's there, and you know that they're going to be taking care of it. And the psychic surgery team and guides, they work with this type of healing all the time, and they work with it with precision. they always tell me, and I ask them what is showing up, what's present, where is it, what's it connected to, what needs to happen for it to be cleared properly and completely. My job is to ask questions, to witness, and to translate it back to the client and get the client's permission at every stage to be able to do this healing for them, because it's all under the law of free will. So you're probably wanting to know is what actually happens when an implant is removed, and this is the part I never tire of. The shift is immediate, not gradual. It's not something that builds over a week. The person feels different literally at the drop of a hat. And there's often could be a physical sensation during the removal. There could be pressure lifting, heat, tingling, a sense of something releasing from a particular location in the body. Some people feel emotional without even knowing why. That is the energy completing its release. Some people feel suddenly clearer, lighter, more themselves than they have ever felt in years. And to be honest, the days after a session where implants have been cleared, clients will consistently report very similar things, like total mental clarity when they haven't had it in years, like the fog has been lifted, physical symptoms beginning to ease, the inner critic can become quieter, you can gain more energy because you're creating your own life force energy back, and old patterns not being triggered in the same way. The gifts that were suppressed start to come back online, and perhaps your voice gets stronger, your intuition will become clearer, the creative output flows differently, and the programs have stopped running, right? And you've also possibly become aware and recognized them as external rather than internal, which is truly the first step in genuine freedom for our clients, for ourselves. So I want to ask you something before we drop off now. Did any of that land for you today? The chronic fatigue that nothing fixes, the patterns that still keep repeating, the gifts you know you have but you can't fully access, the voice that stops just before it needs to be heard. Drop it all in the comments. Tell me what's resonated today and where in your body or your field you felt this land. I read every single comment and I genuinely want to know. Now here's where we are going in the next episode. We are going to go straight into soul contracts, what they are, how they were made, why they're still binding in this lifetime, and what it actually takes to dissolve them properly. And if the implants episode landed for you, then we are going to go deeper with the soul contracts. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so that you get notified the moment it drops. And honestly, if this work really interests you, not just as something to receive, but something you want to learn or do professionally, then I want to tell you about something coming up. My next round of psychic surgery certification practitioner training opens in September. This is an advanced IICT, that's the International Institute of Complementary Therapists, accredited training for healers who are ready to work in the psychic and the astral temples, chambers and layers. You'll learn to locate and clear the etheric implants, work with soul contracts, trauma patterns and astral debris. You'll work with your own psychic surgery team from week 1. You'll learn the full framework, the detection, the extraction, the recalibration, and you'll leave certified to do this work with paying clients. This is not an introductory course. This is for advanced healers who are ready to become certified energy temple surgeons. It's already started filling. The doors are open and you can register and claim your place at clairegorman.com.au. The link is always in the description. So yeah, I'm running it in September and then it will be again in 2027. And if today's episode gave you something real, share it with someone who needs to hear it. You never know who in your world is carrying something they haven't yet found the language for. So please subscribe, hit the bell, and I will see you on the next episode. Remember, this work is about remembering, and you found this series for a reason. Lots of love.